Greetings, Music 221. This is a video introducing the creative project for the semester called Intervals in the Wild. Now, you will not be shocked to hear that this is the first internet video I have ever made, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing or whether it is going to work. So, in an abundance of caution, I'm going to begin the video by showing you my family's new puppy. Oh, look at the camera, Oz. This is Ozzy. I know he's 4.5 months. Okay, now that I've showed you the new puppy, even if the rest of this video is terrible, your time will not have been wasted. Okay. Now that we've got the preliminaries out of the way, what we are going to talk about is the creative project. The most important thing that I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you multiple times on this new show that I'm making right now, is that everything I'm about to say is written down in detail in the document on iLearn called Creative Projects, Intervals in the Wild Instructions. So if you don't catch something, please look at that document. Everything should be written out as clearly as I could possibly make it. All right, here's the deal. This project requires you to find and record and identify real-life intervals which occur in non-music specific settings. What the heck does that mean? So for example, let's say that you wake up every morning and your neighbor has a chicken and it goes something like this. Burr, 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 burr. You'd say to yourself, that chicken is squawking a major second. Burr, burr, bum, ba, do, re, right? Happy birthday. Okay, burr, burr. Great. So that would be a perfect thing to record. That is an interval naturally occurring in a non-musical setting. In other words, I don't want you to collect intervals from your orchestra rehearsal or from your guitar lesson, or sit down at a keyboard and play a bunch of intervals and then label what they are. The goal here is to tune into our wider, not specifically musical environment and notice how many intervals there are around us all the time, and how much fun and what a good exercise it can be for the ear to just tune into identifying what's going on in the soundscape around us. Okay. So, in this case of the chicken, you record the chicken, you do your very best to identify what interval it is. So, say it squawks a bunch of times. Most of the time it was a major second. That works. So, you are going to, let's say you are in my class and you are Luke Skywalker. First thing is, if you're in my class and you're Luke Skywalker, please do let me know, because that is information of which I have been unaware. Secondly, you're going to, so you record your interval on your phone or whatever, you can record it in whatever you want, and then you're going to label it with the interval you think it is. So your name, interval, your best guess for what interval it is, and the source of that interval. So for example, Luke S, ascending major second, chicken. Either .mp3 file or a WAV file, either of those are great. If you can refrain from using any kind of strange sound file, I would be so grateful, because I probably don't know how to open them. So again, Luke Skywalker, ascending major second, chicken, .mp3 or .wav. You have to collect 5 of those for the first installment of this assignment. The first installment of the assignment is going to be due Wednesday, April 1st by 11:59 p.m. Collect and record 5 intervals from a non-musical setting in those kind of files. Can be any combination of seconds, major or minor, thirds, major or minor, or perfect fourths. Those are the assigned intervals for the first installation. Collect 5 of those, email them to me in one email with 5 attachments, and then you're good to go. The project is part of your final grade, but it is not graded. In other words, you either do it and you follow the instructions and you get 100%, or you don't do it and you don't follow the instructions for some part and you get 0% for that part. So it's either a do it or don't do it kind of thing. Okay. You will receive a grade of 100% on this assignment if you complete all of these things for each installment. 1, collect and record 5 qualifying intervals. We will talk in a moment about what is a qualifying interval as MP3 or WAV files. 2, make your best effort to identify each interval and label them correctly as described. If your guess is wrong, that's okay. The goal of the project is not to come up with, the most perfect and cleanest intervals you can find in the environment, but rather to hear things that are really happening around you and do your best to figure out what intervals they are. So if you hear bah, bah, and you label it a minor third, okay, that's reasonable. If you tell me it's an octave, that's probably not reasonable, right? So do your very best, but you are not going to be penalized for being incorrect about your assessment of what the interval was. Be as close as you can, listen to it carefully, do your best to figure it out, and you will receive full credit. You submit your recordings to me, 1 email, 5 attachments. Normally, in a typical semester, we will also do a performance day where each student will perform 2 or 3 of your most favorite intervals from your collection at the end of the project. What will happen this semester? I don't know, but I will keep you apprised. Okay. Let's talk about what intervals qualify for this project. As I said, non-musical settings. So this can include subway doors closing, beep, beep, lots of that happening. Trucks beeping when they back up. Bird calls, commercial jingles. Video or arcade games are treasure troves of intervals. So the source can be electronic or natural or from a human or an animal, anything except in a specifically musical environment where, of course, there's going to be intervals in your orchestra rehearsal. We're looking for other things. Doorbells, foghorns, babies crying. Babies often do cry at specific intervals. It's not random. Sirens, the wind going through the trees, the sound your washing machine makes when it's done. There are intervals everywhere, and even if you don't leave your house, you will absolutely be able to find at least 5 of qualifying intervals for the first installment of the project. Okay, the intervals need to come from 5 different sources. In other words, I don't want 5 intervals from one video game, right? You want 5 different places that you've gotten these intervals from. For example, okay, alternating intervals, the world is full of these, that go back and forth between 2 notes. So for example, sirens in some countries sound like, right? So that doesn't count as 5 intervals. That's just 1 interval that repeats itself over and over again, right? So you would say either descending minor third, right? Minor third, or ascending minor third, because obviously you have both. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. You can label it either way. Both are correct, but it only counts as 1 interval. You're welcome to record and send a sequence of more than 1 interval. In other words, you don't have to try to crop out all the others. Don't bother. Just record a little snippet. Identify the interval that you want to identify, and I will be able to figure out which one it is. So don't worry about spending any time editing. Just press play and then press stop. There are a couple different kinds of intervals, right? In addition to alternating ones, you can have an ascending interval. So Do, re, re. So that's a ascending major second, for example. There are also, right, and then there are descending ones. There are also harmonic intervals. What is a harmonic interval? A harmonic interval is an interval that occurs when two notes are played at the same time, or two sounds happen at the same time, not sequentially. So rather than like, for example, what if you had two chickens, each of them squawking a different pitch at the same time? Picture it. Pretty awesome, right? That would be a harmonic interval. Or, for example, for an audio example, let's say that you go downstairs to your kitchen, and lo and behold, you find somebody who is humming while also playing a panpipe. Could happen. We are living in very strange times. So like this. I'll do it again. Bum, bum. Ascending perfect, wait, it's a harmonic perfect fourth, right? So they make a perfect fourth, but they're sounding simultaneously. Lots of things, both in nature and especially in the electronic world, make sounds like that. Okay. I think that is all I really have to say about the specifics of this assignment. Please bear in mind that everything I've said I have tried to capture in the written instructions, which basically just repeat everything I've said here, but there are certain examples that are just much easier to give in this online movie that I have just attempted to make. So now I'm going to press stop and see if anything actually happens. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and good luck with the assignment. Please do contact me if there is anything I can do to help or clear up any questions. Have fun with collecting. How do I end this thing? Oh, end meeting. Makes sense.